Hey all, it's Jan of the Jan Files. Thank you for being there. Please subscribe so you can support me. I would appreciate it. Today I'm going to talk to you about a couple different things. Don't think this is going to be long, but you never know. The first thing I want to talk about is the last post I made was talking about the intra-party fighting within the Democrats between the quote Democratic Socialists and the establishment. First of all, I'm not going to repeat what I said there, but I want to give an example of what I am talking about because I just saw it this morning. Hakeem Jefferies was on Meet the Press, whatever, Weller, Meet the Nation. I never know which she is, but anyway. And it's like he can't just stop being an asshole. Like she, again, had the conversation about democratic socialists, etc., and being in the party. And he just went and bit it again. It's like, well, I don't believe in defunding the police, and I don't believe in, essentially, he doesn't really believe in Medicare for all. He, so it wasn't like, here's my response. You know what? I'm really tired of this are these people welcome in our party? They are in our party. They are part of our party. Party is probably the more accurate word. And we don't always agree on everything. There are certain things that I don't agree on, and back and forth, which is perfectly okay, because the majority of what we believe is the same, and it's founded on democratic principle. So that's the answer, folks. Something along that line. Abdul El-Sayed has a great response, but Hakeem Jefferies in the House is like an asshole, and he's not answering the questions that Kristen Welker, there you go, Kristen Welker was asking him, which I always find offensive, whether it's Republican or Democrat. Answer the question. Be authentic. Stop trying to twist it in your head and say, well, the new Congress will be doing this and will be doing that. No, answer the fucking question. Can you possibly do that, Jeffries? I really don't think he's made for the new day. I really don't. And I am somebody who likes a lot of the policies that the Democratic Socialists are talking about, but not all of them. Like Mandani, he, doesn't like all of them either. It's perfectly fine. And stop letting this be an issue. Him and Rahm Emanuel can just take a hike as far as I'm concerned when it comes to this. Jeffries is not made for this time, period. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, because this is really pissing me off, is independent media. I think we should rename it. I think we should name it independent white male media, because the numbers are horrifying. So let's just use Midas Touch Network as something we could focus on for a second. Now they have, the founders are brothers, white men. Their editor, Ron Filipowski, which I'm probably saying wrong, white man. They have, I guess formally 31 contributors. Of those 31, there are 5 women and 2 Black women. Now, I didn't count about the Black men. I should have, but it's still abysmal. And the point is, we now have all of these people leaving mainstream media, either because they were fired or they made a choice to leave and do their own thing. Hey, folks, the point is, we're not supposed to repeat what the mainstream media does. We're not supposed to, see all these white male faces. I'm so done with this. And what really sparked it the other day was I was watching The Bulwark, which again is a very, very white channel. And Tim Miller, Sam Stein, and I'm not sure who the other dude was there. They were literally talking about some video that some candidate, someplace made that was disgusting. Okay. And I really don't even want to talk about it. But it was really disgusting. They were talking about this guy describing sexual act, whatever, and tasting his own fluids. Let me just put that out there. And I'm like, I didn't watch. I mean, I watched like the first couple of minutes maybe because I was like stunned, like, what the fuck is this? And I'm going, this is what white male men think is funny, that we should be focusing on. If you wanted to call that candidate out, then you should have called that candidate out, because I don't remember his name. I just remember what you were talking about. But this is a pure example of what is part and parcel when you have white male leading the charge. Now, there was a study done by Annenberg, and let me read that to you, of all of the top 529 podcasts. It was the USC Annenberg study. 77 to 79% of the hosts were white, 64 to 66% are male, and of the top 100 podcasts of 2024, this was 2024, 77.1% of the hosts were white. Women of color made only 7% hosts. Now, so you can assume what the other numbers are, right? So if 77% white, then it's going to be what, 23% of Black and minority representation. These numbers are disgusting. This is a problem that has long been part of mainstream media. And I know because I used to be an editor and publisher of an online news service called Garnet News, which was today's news from a woman's perspective. And let me tell you the other thing. I fought to get funding for that for years. Couldn't do it. The 19th News, which is female owned and operated, is a nonprofit. I was not a nonprofit. They're a nonprofit and they're looking for money. Guess what? The Midas Boys didn't have to look for money, but the Soros came and, said, okay, I'm going to be one of your investors. Wow. And yet here we are. We have a brilliant woman's channel, 19 News. They're looking for donation. Okay, maybe they were smarter than me. I thought maybe we would have the time that we could actually get funding for something that women, and we were paying them. I was paying them out of my pocket. My partner was paying them out of their pocket. We were paying women to write. We wrote our own stuff. We used other people's content, but we paid people. And I am like, look at, where the fuck are we? It's like, yes, there's brilliant Katie Fang. There's Joy Reid. There is Don Lemon. But, how many people is that? And yes, Midas News is, I guess, connected to Katie Fang. I don't know exactly how this Midas News network works, but they are connected. So whether they're helping fund, I don't know, but it's not enough. It's not remotely enough. And it's time somebody called it out and said, enough is enough. Stop this shit. And the other thing, as an older woman, I don't see any older. I mean, the only, there are a few, I've had it, which is great, which is 2 women. Again, they're their own thing. And power to them, because they're very powerful. But also, you can see the Bill Crystals of the world and the older guys that are out there on these shows. And we're the older women. Do we, we're not valued, right? I actually have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot to say. But do you see other people like me out there of my age? I'm in my 60s. And so this is another attempt to keep us quiet. And I don't care what the fuck they say on those channels, because what they say is not what they do. So I think we really, truly need to start talking about that too. And thirdly, really quickly, because unfortunately there's not a huge update on Epstein. Katie Fang is doing probably more than anyone else out there to bring justice to the survivors and victims of Epstein. Todd Blanche is, I think, probably one of the most evil people I've ever seen. I mean, Donald Trump is evil. And there are a lot of other people. But Todd Blanche literally knows better. Like, he was a good lawyer prior to this. And I don't know what exactly triggers him with Trump. Maybe he has a daddy complex. I have no idea. But he is not going to do his best to stop the Epstein release of files. It's just he's doing his best, and he's going to continue. Now, what he's going to do when he's forced with contempt will be the next thing, which will happen in like 7 days. They have to go back, something like 7 days. They have to go back to court to Judge Emmett Sullivan. But all I can say, folks, is in terms of Epstein and everything else, it's just going to rely on the midterms, because shit ain't going to happen unless the Democrats are in charge, even with Trump in charge. So that's my rant for the day. But really, Democrats, get your shit together. Get rid of Jefferies when you get there. And mainstream, independent media, you're not independent. It's a joke. Thanks.